Hello everyone and happy Sunday. This is Eckhart's Ladder with another rambling video. It's been a few days, maybe even a week since I've done one. People say that they like them and I like doing them, maybe because it's easy for me to edit and whatnot, but yeah, another rambling video. And today I'm talking about space battles in Star Wars because I don't know about you guys, but space battles are literally my favorite thing about Star Wars. I say often that this is one of my favorite things, like, you know, walkers are one of my favorite things and Jedi are one of my favorite things, but space battles are truly my favorite thing. I think they capture that sense of scale and wonder probably better than any other single thing in the movies. And my favorite space battle is the Battle of Endor, but I mean the battle over Scarif from Rogue One comes in a close second, and there are a few things that we need to see in Episode 8. And one is a good space battle, because The Force Awakens was terrible in that respect. We didn't see any capital ships other than the Resurgence class Star Destroyer, and I mean, it's not that interesting because we didn't see it do anything. So there's a few things that I really want to see in Episode 8 in regards to space battles, and I want to hear what you guys want to see too, so make sure you leave a comment down in the comment section. So one thing that we've never really seen, and that we're really sorely missing from Star Wars space battles, is direct capital ship engagement. So what does that mean? Well, capital ships right now seem to operate more as carriers for fighters. So for example, in the Battle of Endor, we do see, you know, the occasional capital ship shoot a laser over to another one, and really in the battle in Revenge of the Sith over Coruscant, we do see more direct ship-to-ship combat. But really, these things are massive, humongous, gigantic ships, and it seems like starfighters are really doing the most damage. Like, trust me, I love the dogfighting, I really do, but the capital ships need to get in there and really blow each other up. And I think the best thing that does this, it's not an official Star Wars media, but the TIE Fighter short film that was produced a while ago, I think does a great job of capturing what it would really be like. Like, the Star Destroyers just basically point at the smaller rebel ships and absolutely destroy them, and that's how it should be. And you know, if we got big rebel ships or big resistance or first order ships or New Republic ships, like, they should be actually doing damage. I don't just want to see fighters coming out of them, because that gets lame after a while. And I mean, Rebels is really bad for that. Like, the space battle in the season finale, you know, the Star Destroyers are parked right next to each other and right next to the Rebel ships, but they didn't do anything. And that is super frustrating to see. Like, we've got these huge Super Star Destroyers, and I mean, there's rumors of a Super Star Destroyer in The Last Jedi. I want to see it do something. Like, I want to see it not just look big and look cool. Like think back to how wasted the Executor was in Return of the Jedi. It's this huge ship that they've kind of been pumping up for 2 movies. It eclipses every other ship, and then it just sits there. Not only that, but it gets taken down by a stray A-Wing. So that needs to change, and that needs to change in the next movie, or else I'll be disappointed. That's the first thing. The second thing that needs to change is ship variety. And again, this was something that The Force Awakens did a really bad job of. And you guys know that I love that movie, or I at least really like it. But they did a terrible job at this. We see First Order TIE Fighters and Resistance X-Wings, and that is literally it. One of the great things about the battle in Return of the Jedi over Endor is that we had B-Wings, A-Wings, Y-Wings, X-Wings, various Mon Calamari capital ships, which we had never seen before, smaller corvettes, and, you know, escort ships, and then everything else. And then we see TIE Interceptors, TIE Fighters. I strangely don't think we see any TIE Bombers in that scene, now that I think back. But yeah, that's one thing that made that great. It's not just 2, you know, boring sets of ships going up against each other, and that's one of the problems with the battle in Revenge of the Sith, in my mind. It's kind of, you know, I don't even think it's all Venator class ships. I don't think they even have Acclamator ships, but there needs to be like a few, maybe like, you know, 10 or less large capital ships, some smaller mid-range capital ships, and then some support ships. Like, the battle needs to have a real hierarchy to it, instead of just a bunch of, you know, kind of copy and pasted capital ships flying at each other and dropping fighters like we have now, because that's super boring. So like, let's think about this new movie right now. I mean, we've never really seen variety on the bad guy side. It's always really just Star Destroyers, but I would love to see the bad guys have maybe 1 Super Dreadnought or 1 Dreadnought, a few Star Destroyers, maybe 5 or 6, and then some smaller support ships, and of course fighters. And if you look at the Battle of Kamino from, I think, The Force Unleashed 2, like, they've got a great example. So they've got, you know, Star Destroyers, but then some smaller Imperial frigates, and that's what we need to have. And the Republic or the Resistance can have the same thing. Like we've seen those, like I was kind of worried when I saw the trailer because we see just like 10 or however many Corvettes and they're just the exact same. I'm really hoping that's kind of misdirection, that there's a huge fleet behind them, but I'm really not sure. But the variety carries over to the fighters too. Like we know there's going to be X-Wings and we know there's going to be Y-Wings, but I think one of the great things about Rogue One is that they introduced new U-Wings and same with the new TIE fighters. And really, I think that Rogue One did a great job in variety because we've got X-Wings, Y-Wings, U-Wings, various forms of TIE fighters, and what's great is that the the Rebel fleet is kind of like ragtag. Like there's multiple different kinds of ships, there's one big capital ship, and then there's ships of smaller classes. So like the one capital ship, you know, it actually gives the battle some structure. It's the center of the battle. Everything flows around that. Same with the Star Destroyers on the Empire side. Like they've got a base, and then they've got, you know, the two main Star Destroyers, and it actually gives the battle some nice flow when those get taken down. And, you know, it's not just another ship getting blown up, it actually turns the tide of battle, and we get to see that, and that's really cool. So I'd really like to see that in the new movie. And again, I really think that Rogue One did a great job with the battle, especially how it mixed, you know, practical effects with CGI. I thought that was great, but the scale wasn't quite there, and it was an amazing battle, and I love the scene where they all jump in. But I would like to see, you know, it on a larger scale. I would like to see more ship variety on the Imperial side because they got it down perfectly with the Rebels in my mind. I would have liked, you know, a couple of more unique ships, like the carrier that was in Rebels that eventually got destroyed. It would have been really cool if that had made it to battle, and of course more capital ships on either side. But I think Rogue One did a great job in that aspect. But yeah, I mean, I think we're almost there. I just really hope that we can improve on what The Force Awakens did, because that part of the movie really sorely disappointed me. And if that's 2 movies in a row and there's no major space battles until Episode 9, I think that's going to be really bad. And I mean, we know that there's something. We know that they've got at least one space battle in it, but who knows what kind of ships they have. Hopefully more than just those Corvettes. Hopefully we see some major capital ships, you know, actually get their hands dirty. The only other thing I would say is I would like if they brought some ships back from the EU. There's a lot of interesting TIE classes they could bring back. There's capital ship classes. Maybe I imagine that the New Republic or the Resistance is eventually going to need some sort of dreadnought. So it would be cool if maybe they brought back one of the larger MC classes. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys love space battles as much as I do? I'm gonna imagine yes, you're clicking this video, but maybe it's not your favorite part of Star Wars. Maybe it's just one of them. And I guess they're not always my favorite part. I like the overarching themes of mysticism and like the Jedi and, you know, the father, son, and family relationships. But my favorite scenes are always the space scenes. They're so grand, so much fun to see in a movie theater. So let me know about that down below. Also let me know what you think we'll see in Episode 8, what you want to see, and what you think is missing from Star Wars space battles generally, and where we should look at. I think we should kind of look at how Halo does things, although maybe they focus on capital ship battles a little too much. I think they kind of, you know, are starting to get things right in that universe. But thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like this rambling video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down, and make sure to subscribe because I upload, you know, pretty much every day. Thank you so much for watching, guys. May the Force be with you.